Welcome to our first attempt at an audio edition of our reports. Please be sure to provide feedback through the link in the details. Buzzing on Christmas Eve, Trigona ransomware in 3 hours. Key takeaways. In late December 2022, we observed threat actors exploiting a publicly exposed remote desktop protocol host, leading to data exfiltration and the deployment of Trigona ransomware. On Christmas Eve, within just 3 hours of gaining initial access, the threat actors executed ransomware across the entire network. The threat actors employed a batch script to exfiltrate data and dropped a series of other batch scripts that could hinder defensive measures, establish a user account, grant access through the firewall for RDP, and automate other intrusion actions. Throughout the intrusion, SoftPerfect's NetScan played a pivotal role in conducting various discovery operations. Case summary. This intrusion began when a threat actor gained access to an exposed RDP host. Notably, the login utilized legitimate credentials for the default administrator account, with no evidence of brute forcing. The logs revealed multiple remote logins to the same host in the preceding weeks, suggesting the presence of either a recurrent adversary or the potential involvement of an access broker. Upon gaining access, the threat actor deployed a toolkit onto the beachhead host, which included an assortment of batch scripts, executables, and the SoftPerfect NetScan tool. They then initiated network scans using NetScan, utilizing a custom configuration to automate typical discovery actions, as elaborated upon in the discovery section. As NetScan enumerated the network, the threat actor identified network shares and started exploring them, accessing various documents through a web browser. Approximately 20 minutes after initial access, the threat actor began lateral movement by establishing an RDP connection to one of the file servers. The threat actor then copied their toolkit to the file server. Following this, the threat actor staged rclone on the beachhead. However, before executing it, they proceeded to execute a sequence of commands aimed at disabling Windows Defender. With the way cleared, they proceeded to execute a batch script responsible for initiating the rclone exfiltration process to mega.io. Additionally, they utilized RDP to access a second file server, where they executed the rclone scripts again. Approximately 45 minutes after the data extraction, the threat actor altered their remote desktop protocol connection. They logged out and then logged into the beachhead host from a different IP address. Although the new IP and host name deviate from the initial entry, it is important to note that the threat actor possessed comprehensive knowledge of the network, engaged with the previously compromised hosts, and employed identical techniques as previously observed. This evidence strongly indicates that this access was a continuation of the ongoing intrusion, possibly executed by the same individual or a collaborator within the group. Both file share servers then received the same Windows Defender disabling treatment as the beachhead host. An RDP connection was also established with a backup server within the environment, and the identical series of disabling commands were executed. The threat actor then staged a ransomware binary on each of the hosts they had access to. Following this, they initiated the ransomware binary on each host through their RDP sessions. In this case, the ransomware strain deployed was Trigona, which was executed approximately 2 hours and 49 minutes after the initial access. This ransomware had far-reaching consequences, affecting not only the host where it was initially executed but also propagating to all network-accessible hosts through the server message block protocol. Consequently, the victim faced a dual extortion impact, encompassing both the exfiltration of sensitive data and the encryption of systems through the use of the Trigona ransomware. The DFIR report services. We provide a range of services, one of which is our threat feed, specializing in monitoring command and control frameworks such as Cobalt Strike, Metasploit, Sliver, Viper, Mythic, Havoc, Meterpreter, and more. Another service we provide is private threat briefs, which encompasses over 50 private reports annually. These reports follow a format similar to our public reports but are more concise in nature. In contrast to our public reports, these briefs are typically released shortly after an intrusion, sometimes even while the intrusion is still ongoing. Our comprehensive all-intel service includes the threat feed, private threat briefs, exploit events, long-term infrastructure tracking, clustering, Cobalt Strike configurations, C2 domains, and a curated collection of intelligence, which includes non-public case data. Our private rule set is exclusively curated using insights derived from private threat briefs and internal cases, focusing on Sigma rules. As of January 2024, it encompasses approximately 100 Sigma rules, created from the knowledge of 40+ distinct cases. Each rule is mapped to attack and accompanied by a test example. For more information about this service, please contact us. Analysts. Analysis and reporting completed by @MetallicHack, @PCSC0UT, and unnamed contributor 3. For more details regarding all intrusion phases mentioned in this report, please visit the link to the full report in the description. We would appreciate your feedback. Thank you for listening.